radio presenting is a form of therapy for people who are escaping their lives. I do think it has given me a different perspective on my job. It makes you care about every single person you're speaking to. It's got to a point where in the show that I'm doing now, which is a daily show, I genuinely feel for the people that I'm speaking to. When they're messaging me on a daily basis, telling me about what's happening in their lives, I genuinely care.
What's up, people? Welcome to this week's episode of the Indian Dots podcast. I don't know where I'm looking, but you will know that I'm looking at you, people. Haroon, thank you for joining us. This guy is so happy you're here.
I'm so happy I'm here, but Indy, I've never seen you like this.
What do you mean?
I've never seen you in action. So I've known Indy for years.
Well, you have.
We went to uni together.
You have, yes.
You have seen me throughout my entire career.
Be Haroon.
But I've never seen you in podcast action mode.
Why? Because I flipped the switch real quick. And now all of a sudden I've changed compared to how I was about 1 minute.
He's a different man and on camera compared to what he is in reality. No, I'm joking.
Burst performance, Indy.
For those that don't know, you might be thinking how we know Haroon. I know Haroon from university. Don't know where I'm looking again. I know him from university. He's been one of my close mates since. And I'm really happy he's here because this is super happening.
This is the collaboration.
For those that don't know, Haroon works at the Asian Network. He has a show Monday to Saturday.
Yeah.
He has one every day at what time?
11 a.m.
11 a.m. until 2?
Monday to Friday, I'm 11 till 3.
Right.
Saturday, I'm 11 till 1.
Right. Saturday. This guy works 6 days a week. He's my version of a modern day hustler because he works his absolute ass off. I saw him. Every time you look at his Instagram, I feel like I'm not working enough. Genuinely.
No.
Your pace you're working at is relentless.
I don't think I can really compete. I go to work and sit in front of a microphone and just talk, which is quite literally what I'm doing right now. You save people's lives.
Yeah,
No, not really though.
You don't know, but you do save people's lives.
I do tell this to people all the time. When you become a doctor, you have the feeling that you're going to save lives. I know days where I actually save someone's life, like the heart's about to stop or, the heart does stop. But most of the time, it's like, let's increase the tablet or, you don't need to be here or you just go home and go here. But yeah, I know what you mean.
No, I like thinking that you save people's lives. I do say that. Yeah, you must save people's lives though.
Yeah. No, what I mean is when you say that phrase, what do you actually mean when you say it?
I mean,
what do you think? What comes
up? Let's get deep real quick. I think my role in society is quite frivolous and meaningless because I just talk.
Right.
You do something tangibly to save people's lives, be that increase their medication, be that diagnose whatever illness they might have, or do you operate as well?
No.
Okay, but whatever it is that you do, you are saving people's lives. I'm not saving people's lives.
How do you feel that?
I think when you're in something, in the same way you feel how you don't do whatever you don't do, Haroon, I would look at you and say, actually, you have a platform, you have an audience which are engaged, and you actually talk about real issues. And you made the conversation bigger than it is. That's what I think.
I don't talk about real issues. Yesterday I was eating golgappe at work. Like, I don't talk about real issues.
But that's silly my headphones, I'm not lying. Honestly.
But I'd say in the same way, like, with this podcast, there are times where we go deep, right? And Indy's not prepared for it normally. And he'll just be like, that's a bit...
No, you're prepared for what I say to you because I'm like, Karan, I feel like this. And you're like, whoa, I'm wearing Mickey Mouse's right now. Why are you saying...
Yeah, we went deep on that point.
Right, there you go.
But other times are really, really light. So I feel like you have that skill level now. You've been in the game a long time, whereas you can dip in out of it. But actually the skill of keeping things relatable, that's a skill. So when I look at you and I'm like, okay, why is he engaging? If I really think about it from that level, what is it I like watching about Haroon? It's like, actually, I like listening to him and it feels easy. And so when we think about, well, how do you scale the podcast? How do you get to the point where people are listening and it's a real, niche audience? It's that. And the best compliments we've had, the messages, the private DMs, the ones that people don't comment are always, I'm listening to you when I'm under the, the bed sheets. I'm listening to you as I'm walking to you.
Under the bed sheet.
Yeah, that person was like, no, but in the...
But she didn't say she was under the bed sheet. She did. She said was, I'm in bed and I'm listening.
No, she's in bed, then she's up here.
Yeah, right.
That's your imagination.
That's his imagination. I didn't say it.
Word for verbatim, we can bring it up. She specifically said,
I'm not going to get a deal. Go on, keep listening. Honourable shout out to you.
I don't want the sound to go out, so I listened under the bed sheet. So I was like, that's so specific, but it's so real.
Yeah.
And I was like, Indy, this is impact.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
And you've had that on a daily basis.
But he had an impact on us, actually. I want to just stop you for a sec. I know you want to say something. I owe you, and he owes you, without knowing it, a word of thanks. Because the first person I spoke to about this podcast was yourself. And we've spoken about this, and you're very hesitant to accept the praise. But genuinely, that conversation I had with you on the phone where I said, Haroon, I want to start a podcast. And you were like, okay, what do you want to know? And you said, okay, this is what you need to know. X, Y, and Z. It's more of a...
What did I say to
you? You said to me, having a little segment on a show is like an acceleration. This is like a marathon. So imagine you're on an incline on a treadmill and you're walking up it.
Did I say
I remember those words.
I do not remember.
I remember those words. I couldn't make that up.
Right. I think, like, Indy I've known for well over 10 years. I don't know how many years.
I don't know how many years.
It's been a lot of years.
It's been 12 years, mate.
12 years. So I've known you since pretty much, I think, the first month of university.
Yes.
Pretty much.
Yes.
Since then. And you are a hustler. Like, you've chosen to do things that go against the grain of doing things traditionally. You're doing something now completely different to what you were planning on doing when you were at university.
Let's be honest. When you go and study geography at university, if you're not going to become a geography teacher, everything is against the grain, man. But
if you find out what Haroon's course is, it's very different. You wouldn't guess it. I'll tell you what, I'll give you 3 guesses.
Do you know what I studied at uni?
Of course I do.
Okay.
I went to a graduation.
You did come to my graduation.
Yeah. I thought it was going to graduate in the same week, but I still went to.
Yeah, you
politics in it.
No.
English?
Yeah.
Which is in there?
English literature is one part.
It's a question.
Yeah, I'm not going to guess the words, but English literature is then fine.
English literature film is what I did.
That's okay. That's not too dissimilar. Yeah. Look, geography versus what you do now. Every 2 years, I want a life change.
Back to our conversation that we had when Indy called me, I was firstly super impressed that you wanted to do a podcast. Secondly, I was more than happy to give you any sort of advice that I could. But I wasn't sure how it would pan out because I did not have you down as a podcaster to begin with.
I didn't either, but I wanted to do it. And I've said this a few times. I wanted to do it to prove a point to myself because...
I remember you saying this.
Because I've had that stutter, which you guys have probably seen over the years. It's always been there as an underlying problem that I've had, and it's never gone away. So for me, I thought this is a way to just let that go and to try and be more confident within myself and just speak. So
how long have you known Indy?
2014. The first time he met me, he didn't like me. And I'm not sure if you had the same.
You know the story?
No, go on. What's your story first? Then I'll tell you mine.
Okay, sweet.
So we're on the Bangladesh scene.
Yeah.
Everyone who we know is from the Bangladesh scene at some point. And I, for whatever reason, I think I basically changed jobs, saving lives. And I couldn't do one of the Bangladesh.
Changed jobs, saving lives in a different way. Yeah.
So Indy got drafted into this team that I was part of. And so I've never met Indy. And then he got injured. That was right, isn't it?
Yeah.
So then I got called back like 2-3 weeks before the comp, like, can you come and do like a, quick fill in? So I came just to have a look and see what the scene was. So I walk in and never met Indy. Walk onto the mat, obviously meet the guys I know. I can see he's there. Walks up and he doesn't introduce himself. Yeah. You're going to have to learn this. Yeah, you. So I walk up to my friend Karan and I was like,
Yeah.
Who's this dickhead, man? Right? So I think for the next several months, I just did not like Indy.
Yeah, he didn't. Yeah.
And meeting his wife, like we talk about his, like she says the same thing. She didn't really like him. I've not met anyone who actually likes him when they first meet him. But I said to him, the reason why, looking back at it now, many, many, many years on now, this is 2014 when we met, it's because Indy had this need to start mirroring people he was around and trying to do that.
This is turning into like an analysis and therapy session. Kind of weird.
It's really interesting.
But now what I said to him now, in the last, I'd say definitely in the last couple of years, because now we're obviously a lot closer, I said the best thing I've seen in you is your ability to express your authentic self, which is something, about the coaching that I do.
That actually happened. That's about merit.
Sanj has been a big catalyst for you. The podcast has been a catalyst for you. But it's nice now that when I'm in your space, you hold your space. You have a better understanding of what it means to be Indy. And it's not relying on who you're with, who your company is. You have clarity on the people who are close to you. I've seen that. I've watched that happen. And so now I like you. And I don't tell you that often.
Oh, you finally said it.
Yeah.
I think that everybody in Indy's life would probably say something similar.
Yeah, they probably would.
Because the Indy today is super different to the Indy 10 years ago, 12 years ago. I still like that Indy 12 years ago. Okay. We became friends, so I clearly liked the Indy then as well. And we've been on holidays together. But then I think the Indy today, I think you phrased it really well, is like your full authentic self.
That's what he said. He loves that phrase, man. He says it every single podcast. Yeah.
Mate, Bruce Lee said it, man.
The first impression, did you actually think I was alright, or did you think I was a knob? Because everyone else I met, Haroon, etc., they were like, he's a knob.
No, I didn't dislike you.
Then like you. That's a step up from the feedback I've got. I'll take it.
The thing is, Indy and I became friends at uni through a bigger group of friends. Right? So we were going to see each other every night out. We went on and we were out every single night. We were going to see each other.
Just week everything, yeah.
Yeah, so there was no way that we could not get on. But then we became friends.
But after uni, that's when you kind of test your sentiment of when you're on friends with someone.
Yeah.
And I think with me and you, we kind of not drifted, but we just didn't see each other that much.
Yep.
Because I was in Birmingham, you were in London.
Yep.
And then we reconnected on Naren's stag do, if you think about it.
Yeah,
Prague
2018.
Prague 2017, 18.
Yeah.
That was when we properly like saw each other again. I was like, oh.
But that's when you were a different person.
But that's because I changed jobs, been traveling, come back. And I was like, yeah.
You know, Indy is the perfect Bollywood film. You know the Bollywood film where the main character goes and discovers himself.
That's okay. He goes traveling. DDLJ, this dude, man, his little banjo.
Oh, I've got one better. Watch a film called Tamasha with Ranbir Kapoor in it and Deepika Padukone.
I'm definitely watching this guy Deepika on it. Yeah.
And you are basically
You are basically.
You know that character who used to discover his
Wake up,
self.
Wake up,
Sid is all right. Are you Ranbir Kapoor disguise?
That's him, Buffy. What man? You are.
I'll take him.
Buffy's a bit different though. You
know that's fragile.
But you are quite Ranbir Kapoor.
You know what's mad? I don't know half the films you guys are talking about, but I'm glad that you two do.
Yeah.
I know what he's talking about, which makes me quite happy.
What?
That everyone else understands the
Bollywood references.
I don't know a lot of them. I know the classics, like classics.
K3G.
I did make you watch some like uni.
You did make me watch quite a few. That Delhi Belly film.
Have you made him watch American films?
Amir Khan produced Delhi Belly, which I made him watch at uni.
That was
But has he seen American films?
Have you seen Amir Khan films?
properly have.
Rang de Basanti, Tare Zameen Par. Three Idiots. You must have seen 3 Idiots, man.
Yeah, of course I have. Yeah. I remember I said that to you. You're like, what? You've seen 3 Idiots? I thought, yeah, of course I have.
Great film. Yeah.
First of all, how did you make it into the Asian networks? I never actually understood this. When I met you, you were working there.
I was.
At the beginning. But how did you make it into that space?
I was 16 years old.
1-6, okay.
I was doing media studies GCSE.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they took us to the BBC on a school trip to Television Centre in White City opposite Westfield, that famous building.
Yeah.
And I used to listen to the Asian Network as a teenager. And I used to, on a Saturday morning, listen to a show called Love Bollywood presented by Raj and Pablo. I didn't know them apart, but I knew they were Raj and Pablo. And in the lobby of the BBC when I was on school trip, I saw one of them in the lobby and shouted, Raj, Pablo. One of them, they responded to one of the names. Turned out to be Raj. Told him that I love Bollywood. I don't know why, but he was like, do you want to come and review a film on our show? And gave me the email address of a producer on the show. And then I emailed the producer, came in and reviewed a film. I was terrible.
At 16?
No, I was 17 now. Like by the time it evolved from the school trip to the email to eventually getting in, I had probably just turned 17.
Okay, let's just dissect this. So at that point,
Yeah.
were you like, this is endgame, this is where I want to be?
No, I had absolutely zero ambition of getting into radio at that point. I wanted to be a filmmaker. I would quite like to have directed films at that age.
I can see you doing that.
And
the little hat and everything.
yeah, and that was what I wanted to do. But I did love Bollywood, and I did love movies, and I was good at media studies. So I was like, this is a great little opportunity. Who else my age is going into the BBC and reviewing films?
Yeah.
And I was just lucky that my parents were supportive enough to encourage that. Like we lived in Northamptonshire, so my parents had to drive down to London to make me for me to be able to even go in and review those films that I did at that time.
Oh, so school was in Northampton, it wasn't London?
No, so I lived in West London, then I moved to Northamptonshire.
Got it.
And then I moved back to London after that. But essentially managed to go in and review a film. And when I went in, I just inquired is it possible for me to come and shadow the show and see how it works behind the scenes? I was like
17.
Yeah, I was really intrigued by this world and these radio studios and how this all works. And it was a massive building. And I remember like just the fact that this was in the same space that all these TV shows were made. And this was the same space that all these big celebrities came into. It was really exciting and fun. And I did a few more reviews, and eventually they said I could come in and shadow a show. That's where I started.
And that was the end. That was the end. Wow.
That was the end.
Tell me back into your parents. I'm interested in this now. So you're brown, you're Asian. The talk in your house growing up, have you been given this is what you need to be career-wise talk, or is follow your passion? What's the home talk?
So it was always follow your passion, but I think it was follow your passion because it couldn't be this is what you have to do, because my dad's a graphics designer. So he had already broken
that door,
Yeah, I think his parents wanted him to be a doctor and he became a graphics designer. So then there was no real like...
There's no leg to stand on.
Yeah, there was nothing that they could say to me. There was a huge emphasis on studying. Yeah, and there was a huge emphasis on getting good grades, but beyond that there wasn't really you have to do this.
Yeah, not these 3 jobs.
Yeah, I don't think my dad was or my mum were very over the moon that I did choose to do English literature and film at uni, but they weren't dismissive of it either. I remember at one point my dad telling me to study like philosophy and PP, and I was like, that's not going to happen. I failed economics twice. I got an... This is how bad it was. I did it as an AS level. I think because my dad told me to do it, and in my AS level I got an E, and then I had to retake it during A2, and then I got a U. So it got worse. Yeah, with an X. It wasn't going to happen.
Out of interest, because I know this because my friend had this. Do you know what the U stands for?
Isn't it unmarked?
No.
What is it?
Unclassified.
Unclassified.
Whoa. No, it's so deep.
It's so bad that we can't even give you a grade.
Unclassified.
But do you think that you can build an inclination towards a certain subject, or do you think that you naturally have a talent or interest in a certain...
You
can build it. So I could have been good at economics.
You could have, because
depending on the amount of time you put in something. But I think people have a natural flair. I enjoyed science, like it made sense. I didn't have to work extra hard. I had to work hard, obviously, get much better at it.
You went to grammar school, so you're naturally smart. When you pass the 11 plus, there is a standard, and the standard is you've made it now into that.
And you passed 11 plus.
But remember, most people that get into 11 plus, they get there because they've been coached for many years.
Yeah, but they still apply themselves quickly in a small period of time to make that intelligence level that classifies and gets you through the threshold, right?
Gets you through the threshold, but it's not everything, because there's people in my year, there's 96 boys in our year, and okay, there were people who got a higher mark than me, say 11 plus, but academically they weren't very good. They were just very good at the 11 plus exam. It's just a different test.
Yeah, I trained to do the 11 plus. Like I was going for tutoring, but then I never actually did it because we moved to Northamptonshire. So
there's a catchment area.
Yeah. So I escaped it.
So I had that. I did it. I was really bad at the 11 plus and I didn't do well. But then I was shit.
Then your parents put you in a private school, so thank you.
But I was really bad at maths, and even in the school I went to, I was still bad at maths. And then I got a tutor, and he taught me a different way of doing maths that made it more fun. So it worked with my sort of way I thought. Like he really honed in on a point.
This is why you need to watch that as an input. This is what it's about.
Why?
This is what it's about. There's a kid in there. He's dyslexic. He's not diagnosed. Karan spots this. He teaches him in a different way. He connects. He becomes his mentor. And I know in my life, like, personally speaking, there's 2 or 3 teachers who I speak to today from secondary school who just, they saw it, they pushed me, they got me to a higher level. And I'll never forget that.
So he sorted me out and managed to get me a really good grade in maths. I got an A. I never thought that was possible. But because he taught me, I liked it. Then I thought, I'm not doing this at A level. I'm not going to do that again. But at least that's... I did it for GCSE.
Yeah.
But I wasn't going to do it for A level.
But you got the A, that was the point.
Yeah, I got the A.
So what did you do for your A levels?
I did geography, business, religious studies. And I did
podcasting.
I wish I did podcasting. I'd be way ahead. And chemistry, because I was told to take science.
Okay.
Yeah, because you're Asian, man.
Yeah.
So were you both told this is what you need to do?
No, because my brother and sister, my brother had been a pharmacist, my sister was doing optometry. My mum had a pharmacy. And just keep it all wanted. Because they're like 2 out of 3 and bad, isn't it?
Yeah.
66%. That's like that's a high 2-1. That's a high 2-1/1. Yeah, you're fine.
Right. I mean, you could have done anything, to be honest with you, because your siblings had it covered.
But I felt like an idiot because at our uni, me and you, I think, were the only one I have a friendship with that that sent QM as our first choice. No one else had it there. Everyone came through clearing.
These are the backups.
They all came through clearing.
But this was my backup, though.
Here we go. Breaking news.
I had it as my first choice only because King's rejected me. But KCI is where I wanted to go.
Wait, hang on. They rejected you for the first application?
They rejected me based on my predicted grades.
That's fine.
I got those grades. I just want you to know, Kings, I could have been yours, and you rejected
me.
So technically, QM was your first choice because on your
Indy.
By default. By default.
it was still first choice. It was first choice. Yeah, but everyone else,
I didn't want to go in.
you know, I understand what he's saying.
Did you have to be a doctor?
No.
Okay.
So I grew up in a family where there were a lot of doctors, a lot of dentists. And actually, until 6'1", I wanted to be a dentist firmly. And that is a work experience with my tata. And I was like, this is the most boring thing in the world. That's part of it. And then, now this sounds super cliche. And, my dad was like, make sure you don't write this in your personal statement or tell anybody in your medical interviews. But when I was in India, we used to go to India every year, 6 weeks holidays. We were there, all our mum's families there. And during one of those visits, we went to Haroon called a temple. And when I was sitting there, I was just, meditating, and it just came to me very, very clearly, you should be a doctor, not a dentist. That's
How old are you?
So that was 17, whatever the age is, 16.
Bro, nobody has that much clarity.
No one has that.
16.
This guy's way ahead of his years.
At that moment, I was like, okay, it felt like, inspired action. It was like, you should be a doctor. But I enjoyed it. There was no, you have to be a doctor. But my general inclination, now mum showed me some stuff a couple of weeks ago. We were clearing the house. They're like drawings when I was really young, and it was like drawings of like giving people injections and things like that.
Oh, really?
I will grow up and be a doctor. And I was like, obviously, I have no recollection.
Wow.
But it's interesting looking back at it. And then the whole bigger question then becomes, is everything preordained? Is this all written? How much?
What was you there? Did your parents want you to be a doctor? Like, ever? Did they mention anything about it? Because I know your parents are proud of it, but were they ever like saying?
So my nana is a doctor.
Okay, so when you were asleep at night time, do you think came and whispered in your ear?
Oh, so like suggestive. Yeah, like
And then that's it.
Conditioning.
And he woke up with the conditioning.
But why were you drawing pictures of people giving people injections? That's what I don't understand.
kind of freaky.
That is a bit weird.
That is a bit weird. It was, it was a vitamin injection, whatever it could be. I had a stethoscope on.
That's terrible. Yeah.
But no, I wouldn't say I was ever pushed, but it felt very natural. And I think for me, Haroon, now, so I'm 33 years old now, and outside of medicine, I have various other projects I do, podcasts being one of them. And it's taken me until this age to realize the things that I like to put my time, effort, and energy into have to revolve around helping people. So a lot of doctors, a lot of doctors I work with, they go through burnout. It's not a secret thing. You can see doctors are protesting, nurses are protesting. It's horrible to work in the NHS. I don't work full-time in the NHS. That's the reason why. But the mindset shift came when I realized that if I go to work, save people's lives, but go with the mindset of I have to do this, I'll be dukkhi all day.
Yeah.
If I go with the mindset, I get to do this, privilege, honor to do this, my mindset's completely different. I enjoy what I do. And that's what had to change. But now when I look at, the podcast for me is somebody listens, they get something helpful, it makes their day. That's me doing my CRI from this, angle. And the same with my medicine, the same with everything I do. So that's how I look at things now. That's the way I don't get FOMO or regret. When people come to me with project or business ideas, it's like, well, does it align with me helping people? Yes or no? If it does, let's have a conversation. If it doesn't, fine.
You're still doing like the most selfless job off the table. I would say.
But I think that with yours is the clearest form of escapism possible, which is you give people a release in their day when they're at work to have something that's fun, relatable, enjoyable, and just nice to listen to.
Do you know, I've started thinking like that now, but I
didn't think at the beginning.
No,
I told you that from day dot.
No, I think.
But again, outside looking in.
Yeah. So I used to, when I first started. So obviously, I was at uni at the same time. I was freelancing at that time at the Asian Network.
Working on weekends.
I was working on weekends. Yeah. By second year of uni, I was working on the breakfast show. So I was waking up at 5 a.m. Second and third year of uni,
I remember those tabs you used to get.
Yeah, working pretty much like throughout Monday to Friday. I'd be working from 5 a.m.
Plus your uni stuff.
Plus I go to uni.
Yeah.
Which is why I did really badly at uni because it was so secondary in my list of priorities to what I was doing. But for the longest time, I was just having the best time doing it. I was enjoying myself. It was a fun job. It was just exciting. It was the most exciting job I could think of. And then recently, I think as you get older, you start thinking, what is my purpose in life?
Ikigai, the Japanese, my reason to be.
What am I providing the world?
The value.
Through my being? Is there any... value is exactly like, is there any value to what I am doing? Like... As in, if I stop doing this tomorrow, would it make any difference, right? And you start questioning things. And I think only recently have I started thinking, actually, radio presenting is a form of therapy for people who are escaping, like you said, their lives. I don't carry that with any sort of... I don't think about that actively, but I do think it has given me a different perspective on my job, certainly. But the worrying thing with that is that it makes you care about every single person you're speaking to.
You get intentional, very intentional.
it's worrying. It's worrying because it's got to a point where in the show that I'm doing now, which is a daily show, I genuinely feel for the people that I'm speaking to. So I genuinely have concern for them. I genuinely
it's a real emotion,
happiness for them when they're messaging me on a daily basis, telling me about what's happening in their lives. I genuinely care. And then you get messages in that are from people who are telling you how you have positively impacted their lives. And then you start worrying because you start thinking, I don't actually want to have this much of an impact on your life. I'm just going about being quite happy-go-lucky about things and joking around and eating golgappe. I'm really happy that this makes you happier, but I don't want your happiness to depend on
you being there.
You know?
True, but it comes back to Spider-Man, man. With great power comes great responsibility. And again, I would...
Now, mate, you're getting in Spider-Man. He called you doctor. Now look at this. Superhero you are.
What I would say at that point is that same thing where we've gone to a similar mindset, which is now that you have it's the privilege.
Yeah.
You get
I feel really blessed.
Get to do this, man.
Yeah.
And it's awesome, man.
Yeah, and I think that comes with age as well, right? Like, I feel really blessed and grateful for the opportunity to do what I do.
Yeah.
Because I love it, firstly. And secondly, I do feel like it's positively helping somebody who's listening for whatever reason they might be listening.
Yeah.
But I do think it comes with this kind of like unsaid responsibility almost, because you also don't want to let anybody down at the same time.
True in that. But it's because you have a conscious awareness of that.
Yeah.
It'd be very easy for you to just be completely chill and not really think about it. But I guess as long as you don't dwell on it all the time, because then you know,
say with you know. Oh, I'm saving people's lives. What am I doing?
In general, I do have one thing to say to you, which is the pace you're going at is actually relentless. Like, seriously, you're not concerned about burnout at all because you do a lot.
Okay, you know what? You say that, right?
I said this to you near the game start. I want to bring it up here because it's good. It's good for people to see behind the scenes what you're actually doing in your day to day.
Okay, it is relentless, but I kind of think like, if not now, then when? I kind of feel like if this isn't the age to be relentless, while I physically can do as much as I'm doing, then when am I going to do this? Also, like, I'm not married, so I don't have relationship responsibilities. For example, my job is not labor intensive as such, right? Like, I'm not lifting anything. I'm not doing any manual labor in my job. So I kind of feel like, yes, I'm doing a lot, but firstly, I enjoy it. Secondly, there's peaks and troughs in everything, right? Like there's periods where it's absolute madness, and then there will be a week or two where things slow down a little bit. Admittedly, the last 3 months, there has not been any moment where things have slowed down at all. But you know, I can't complain. Like, it does come down to like gratitude. I'm really grateful for all these opportunities I've had, and if I say no to them, I will be kicking myself to say no.
Is that FOMO, or is that because you genuinely want to do it and they feel like everything's an opportunity that will open another door and another door and another door, and then that won't ever end, and then it will come to a point where either your health gives out, or you're just going to be absolutely shattered.
Yeah, I didn't realize Indy was going to ask me questions that make me face the reality.
Only because I'm guilty of this as well. Like, if you ask Sanj firsthand, how much do I do? She falls asleep on the sofa as I'm editing, and I go to bed about 1:30, and I wake up at 7 and I go to the office, and then I come back and do it all again. So I know how it gets, and she keeps me in check. She's like, you need to stop, you need to chill, and you need to do this. And I just think, Job, she's right. I respect her opinion. Cool. I'm worried you don't have someone to do that for you as well.
No, now he's reminding me of how single I am. Why did I agree to do this?
Still a mill. Yeah, we're gonna.
Yeah. So there is risk of burnout for sure. I think it is about being real with yourself about what is manageable and what isn't, and how you use your time. Like, at the moment, I get 1 day off a week.
Yeah. Okay.
And in that one day, it's a very tough task to mentally balance how much of that day you should spend on switching off, relaxing,
Compressing, yeah.
and how much of that day you should spend on getting through life admin, right?
Errands, yeah.
Errands.
Yeah.
And then if there's anything left over, then you think about spending time with your family, quite literally, right? And this Sunday is a good example of that. So Sunday just gone was my first day off in a couple of weeks because I was working on a couple of other things the weekend before that. And I had a full to-do list for the day.
Right.
Go to the gym, do food prep, go supermarket shopping, do laundry, to go pick up a couple of bits. And then my mom said to me in the middle of the day, let's spend some time together.
Curveball coming in.
It came in at 3 p.m. and it just completely messed with my mind. Like I was like, and by that point I had, I'd been to the gym.
Yeah.
No, I was about to go to the gym. My mom said it very innocently as I was about to leave to go to the gym.
Yeah.
And then you're like, what do I do? Like,
Priorities though. Mummy.
Yeah, and I only have this one day in the entire week to do everything I need to. And I tried to squeeze in the family time.
Of course.
But then I did that with a slight bit of, in the back of my mind being like, I've got this to do and I've got this to do and I've got this to do.
Did you feel like you were rushed with your family? Like you wanted to get it done so you could get back to your list?
I felt like if I had known earlier, then I could have planned better.
This same thing happens to me. When I'm in Birmingham, people like throw curveballs at me, which is I'm back and I'm here to see a set amount of people. And then my mum will say, I haven't seen you. And I'm like, fuck. All right, shit, I need to sit and give mum some time. So I've got to sit and give mum time. And then I'm like, okay, we'll have breakfast at this time. Then from there, I've got to rush to here. Then from there, I've got to rush to here. Then I've got to get in the car and get back to London. Then get back to London. Then unpack my stuff. Then I'm like, the day's not.
But parental guidelines, like as in parental timelines work in a different world. You know, their pace of life is so different to our pace of life.
Yeah.
Not that they're doing less with their time, but their way of...
They've had that time, you know, they've had the hustle phase. We're at a point now where we run on Google Calendars, everything's, you know, calendarized like 3-4 months in advance and to-do lists. But then, like you said, it's priorities time.
I think they can just squeeze in a lot more than we can.
I don't know, I think, we had the tale of the Mexican fisherman, the parable of the Mexican fisherman.
No.
I think you love this story.
Tell me.
Indy's recording me telling this. I'll tell you very, very quickly. But basically, American banker is about to have a heart attack. Doctor says to him, you need to chill out. You're working too much. Go take a holiday. Goes to Mexico, small town. He's wired. He wakes up 6 a.m. without an alarm clock. Walks down to the village, sees a fisherman, local fisherman who's just doing a bit of fishing. He looks, the fish look quite nice. He has conversation, says, oh, well, so how many fish do you catch? He says, oh, yeah, I catch a few. And then he goes, what do you do with your day? He goes, well, I catch a bit of fish, and then I have a siesta with my wife, and then I wake up and I go to the town, and then I get drunk with my mates, and, you know, and then repeat. And he goes, yeah, but what you could do is you could stay out longer, catch more fish, get some more boats, right? And then you could get someone else to catch the fish for you, and then you could scale up, and then you could go to New York, and then, you know, like a couple of years you could have an IPO, and then you could be a millionaire. And so the guy says to the bank, okay, so how long is it going to take? And the guy says, about 20 years. And he goes, okay, so after I've done that, achieved that, become a millionaire, have all these things, you know, income coming in, then what do I do? And he goes, oh, that's the best. But then you can go to a small village, relax, have siestas in the day, get drunk with your friends. And the guy says, well, yeah, but I'm doing that already now. And so I tell this story often, just, you know, this whole idea about keeping up with the Joneses and, you know, what is your definition of success and happiness look like? And I think when I sit with my dad now, like, I remember my sister's wedding speech, I was like, sometimes I just observe dad sitting in the empty dining room, staring out the dining room in our garden, and he watches like a bird eat food, and he gets really happy. And he's happy all day because he's witnessed that. And I was like, how can I get to that level of contentment and peace, right? And so I agree with your point to a point, but I think they're just, and some people, some are just there with nothing to do. That's fine, it's a different thing. But I think there are some people who they have experienced life, they have wisdom now at the point where they understand truly what is, you know, what's important in life. Whereas I feel like I'm at your stage, which is, I'm still trying to work out what my ikigai is, where's my purpose, I'm still on that path, I'm still trying to manifest what that looks like. And so on that path, I'm going to do this, I need to do this, I'm going to do this, and this. But I did burn out from doing that. And it took me to go into burnout, to go, you know, really, really deep into anxiety. Indy helped me a lot with that, coming back out to get a lot more clarity on what is important in life. But that was my journey.
But, you know, I kind of feel like with the risk of burnout, I feel like there's There's a balance of enjoying what you do and risk of burnout, knowing where to draw the line, right? I'd like to believe that I know where to draw the line. You think I don't know where to draw the line?
No, I don't. You're saying, we say as a patient, you have insight, which is
I think
what
so.
it is.
Because I've seen people go through that period of burnout, and I've seen what that looks like.
I see them on the trajectory towards it.
Yeah, you could see what those signs were that were heading towards it. So I'd like to think that I would know when to recognize that. But I also think like if I'm fortunate enough or blessed enough to have the opportunities that I have right now, wouldn't I be stupid to say no to them?
No, of course, I see that too. I'd be torn of the same dilemma. I'll probably act the same way as you. I'll try and squeeze everything in as much as I can and see what I can get.
That's also really...
No, but I want to. I want to be better at delegating.
Oh, let's change the system chat.
Yeah.
You need
The best advice, I'm a VA and a PA, and the best advice I ever got given is build systems and processes. That's basically
That's what Notion templates are for, man. They should just set things up for you and just get things going straight up.
I mean, that's AI. I mean, actual people. Systems, processes. But the other part of the advice I got given was one of my mentors. He says, Jazz, when you approach me on the hospital ward, if you're in podcast, whatever it might be, ask yourself the question, what is the best use of my time, my energy in this situation? If I'm on the shop floor in the hospital, I could take the blood tests, I could speak to the patient, I could check them in, I could clean the floor, I could do everything. But it's not the best use of my time. So I only focus now on what I do best, and everything else I work out a way to automate and delegate out. But when you first do it, the reason why we don't like doing the hustle kind of mindset is we're perfectionists and we want control and we want to do everything. But as soon as you let go of control and you upskill the people around you, so
I fucking hate it, I'll be honest, because I have to do it in the podcast where I give people things to do. And no one's ever going to do it to your standard. The sooner I become accepting of that, the easier my life will become. I have it in my head of like a high standard of how it should, but and that's never hit.
That's a process.
I get like angry. But I need to just them down. That's what it is.
Progress, not perfection.
Yeah.
Any day of the week, right? If you want a mile of an inch of movement is better than a mile of intention. So we have to focus on upskilling those around us. It's a constant process, man.
Yeah.
And we have property that we invest in, and now it is like 3-4 hours away from us. So if we didn't have a good team, I'd be having to go there all the time. But I spend a lot of my time upskilling them so they can make more decisions. So when they come to me, it's a high level problem rather than like a low level problem where it's like, I don't really need to action that. But if you come to me and you've done this, and this, I'll now get involved.
I think it is very hard to hand over responsibility if it involves if your name is your brand. Like, so for example, with me, a lot of content that I do, even on the radio, I want to see how it's going to turn out when it's going to go online, or how it's going to be edited. Or quite often I edit my own interviews or my own videos because I have a vision for how I want it to be. And releasing control of that is very difficult if it's something you've done for a long time. So
Tessa's team do that for you.
Yeah. And my team's great, and they do loads of those bits. But there'll be certain things that I just have a better understanding of. So certainly when it comes to like Bollywood stuff, I know what the top line is from an interview that I want, and I know the best possible way to get to that top line in the shortest amount of time in a video. So it might just be easier and quicker for me to do that than for me to let somebody else do that and then watch the edit and then be like, actually, this is how we need to do it and this is how we need to do it.
Yeah.
You know, because right now I'm working on something that involves me having no physical control over the edit, and all I'm doing is joining a Zoom meeting every other day and going through the progress of the edit. And that person I'm working with is wonderful and really, really talented and a great video editor, but they don't know anything about Bollywood. So quite often, a lot of the time we spend in our meetings is recapping things that I could have done in an edit.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think it depends on what that thing is that you're outsourcing. I think it works great for some people. And I think that there are certain circumstances where you do need to control it as well.
What about non-work life stuff? You're shopping, for example.
Yeah.
Scheduling. Or do you enjoy that because you're not doing normality?
I haven't worked it out yet. I think the other thing is, and I don't know about how you both feel about this as British Asians, but the idea of spending on getting somebody to do something for you that you could do for free is hard to get your head around. So, for example, or even spending on something that is going to level up your way of living, but is going to cost, like, for example, I just ordered an air fryer 2 days ago, right? during a Prime Day sale. So I was like,
2 days.
Yeah. So I
made the most of it.
no, I was with our mutual friend Anna.
I saw her.
And she ordered it, and then I was with her, and I ordered it as well. I should have ordered that ages ago. It would have been me making dinner so much more convenient.
Yeah.
But I chose not to because that's a big purchase. That's not a small amount of money to spend on something that an oven could do for free. Is the way I'm thinking about it, right? My struggle is to spend money on stuff that I could do with the means that I already have.
Yeah.
If it's going to cost me more money.
Yeah.
Do you go to Pakistan often?
Like once a year.
Okay, so when you're there, you will know, I presume, that when you're in like family homes, there is a gardener, there's a cook, there's somebody to do the cooking, stuff. So from my point of view, because I've grown up and gone to India a lot, I'm like, okay, I wouldn't want to live in India, but how do you create that level of comfort in England? Right, so when people ask me like often, okay, Jazz, what's your definition of success? I said, it's an evolving process. It changes as you get older. But a couple of things for me that are really important are, how do I increase the level of comfort for mum and dad? We live with mum and dad, right? So for example, we have a cleaner. Though we don't clean, it's actually really funny. This should definitely be a segment, how as Punjabi or British Asian people, you clean the house for the cleaner to come. Which is actually,
you clean it beforehand.
Yeah, it is like a baseline. It's like you do it. You want the cleaner to be effective with her time. So my dad would be like, don't let her do low priority tasks that you can do. And then recently we took on cook. So she'll come and like make some food for the week, like Punjabi kind of.
Yeah.
As again, it's not that we can't do it, but for me, part of it is, it's like, okay, if that's being done there, what am I now doing with my active time? And if that's spending time with family, or going out, or doing other things that I can't pay someone to do, then my time ends you with it.
But that's a mindset shift. You have to have that mindset, and I think that a lot of British Asians don't have that mindset.
No.
Like, you know, my family definitely don't have that mindset of. I'm actually. It's not that my family don't have the means to have that mindset.
Yeah.
It's just the way. It's that hustle mentality of the immigrant generation that moved to this country, where they didn't have the means to do it.
Yeah.
So it wasn't even possible. But there's the idea of saving everything or whatever it might be. But these sorts of things, you have to expand your mind to think like that to begin with.
Because you have to see it as well. But a lot of why I hear in kind of my wider family of friends is, you know, what we're saying, we'll be at an event or something, and people just moan, right, about, I've got no time to do anything, so I'm always cleaning the house. And I'll sit there, I'll listen to it maybe like 2, 3, 4 times on a separate event. And then I'll literally say, just pay a cleaner, 20 quid every 2 weeks. And then I don't need to...
more expensive in London.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, look, London's all different kind of hedge. Yeah, you can live like a king when you're around here.
Yeah.
But that's one of the things where I hear it, and I'm just like, look, there's a solution here. And again, you're right, and it's a pretty interesting point you made there. A lot of people have the means. I know a lot of people are actually very, very wealthy, but they don't want to spend it. And I'm like, okay, so if you're not spending it on, say, that and like leveling up, then what are you spending it on? Because if it's a short shot, it's buying new Urdu every 2 years or buying a bigger house or doing no extension. So if it's making you happy, I'm not going to judge it. If it brings you genuine happiness and that sustains you for life and gives you life meaning and purpose, fine.
But I think everything is a gradual transition, right? Like, for example, at the start of the pandemic is the first time I spent money on a personal trainer.
Okay.
So I got a personal trainer in July 2020.
Right, what was the impetus?
Right. His weight loss journey is something I've never seen before.
Yeah. So I had flipped the other day, actually. You were talking about something, how you were quite... when the camera was on you, not the interviewee, how, what's the word I'm looking for?
Self-conscious.
Yeah.
So basically, pre-pandemic, I was overweight, and going into the pandemic, I put on even more weight because everybody was at home, and I like to cook during the first 3 months of the pandemic, and it was just ghee and butter and everything, and it was really good. But essentially, I was going to turn 30 the next year. I felt like I didn't want to start a new decade of my life looking the way I had been looking and feeling the way I had been feeling. So one day I just Googled personal trainers in the area and had a consultation with one. And at that time you could work out and you could train in the park. You could do it. Yeah. So I went and met him in a park and signed up to 12 sessions with him. Those 12 sessions at that time cost £360. Now for me...
That's a big investment.
What's the answer? What's the percent?
It was £30 per session.
That's quite standard.
Okay. Yeah.
£30 per session, yes.
So you're around here about 2025.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
But the point is, that was the most I'd ever spent on anything for myself, like for my own gain. And
Personal investment. Yeah.
Personal investment, but I felt such a huge amount of guilt about it to begin with, because I'm thinking this is something I should be able to do myself without anybody's help. Why do I need somebody to motivate me to move?
Here's the thing, I spend a lot of time, because I'm in the coaching industry as well, but from a medical point of view.
This guy's like fingering every pie.
I've tried a lot of things haven't worked, but I know the things that work now. And actually, I spent a lot of time here where it's like, we go to school, okay, we have teachers give us accountability. If we didn't have teachers, we wouldn't go to school, period, right? And then we come to working life, adult life, and we don't have, by default, mentors, coaches, people to guide us. And we just think we're going to kind of make it in life. The beauty of a PT is, like you said, you pay somebody, you turn up, you don't miss a session, you don't need to be motivated to go to the gym. Then you get to the gym, and when I go, I don't need motivation, because the guy there is going to tell me, pick up this weight, this many sets, or this many things. All I have to tell him is, this is the result I want. I want to be chunky, I want to be lean, I want to lose weight, whatever it might be. I'm outsourcing the result to you now, you make sure it happens. That's it.
Right, but is it a 100% mindset shift, right? Because what I started with in that journey was, for the first month, feeling like, well, why I'm pathetic. Why am I?
Is it really?
Yeah, because it's like, why am I paying someone to make me physically do better? This should be something that comes from me, and I've realized that that's actually from what society feeds you about the way you should feel about yourself, and how you should be able to go to the gym and do things yourself. It was the best decision I ever made, was getting a PT. And then exactly how you said, I would just turn up and I wouldn't miss a session, right? Because you've made a commitment.
I'm paying someone. I don't fucking do that. I'm buying it. Like this for enough. I'm going.
I was training in the rain, in the snow. I was out there, and I was more active than I've ever been because I was paying someone.
And it didn't feel hard at the end.
And by the end of it, and I stopped training with this trainer at February this year, which is when I started working in Birmingham pretty much full time. So I could have trained with that trainer, but it got to the point where that money leaving my account was no longer it didn't even bother me. It wasn't even a second thought. It was just like, this is normal practice for me to pay this person to look after my health.
Yeah,
essentially.
That's the prime MO, right? So the conversation I have with people, this will blow your mind, man. So Jordan Peterson. Okay, so I saw him last year.
Rashid played bingo, man, with all the things you've gone through. You've gone through budget mindset, you've gone through Jordan Peterson, you've gone through...
It's a new audience, okay?
Listen, this is Karan Bingo at its finest. If people want to mad this is like all 120 odd episodes rolled into one together. Rolled into one. Starting on everything's there. Okay,
this is what I believe.
Go on, catch your on that. Go on.
So, I'm at Jordan Peterson show. This is like one of my idols, and I've been wanting to meet him. When we met him, my wife said to him, she said, Jazz talks about dead or alive, you're the one person he wants to meet. To which he replied, well, it's good I'm not dead. And then he had a really good laugh, so that was it. But here's the thing that blew my mind. So he's talking about Sudoku. He's talking about, what's that boggle? Wordle, that thing you boggle. It used to be a game as well. And he's like, there is zero evidence, zero scientific literature that this will offset cognitive decline, dementia, all that kind of stuff. This is the main reason people play it.
Yeah.
Zero evidence. He goes, what there is really good evidence for is if you are over the age of 50 and you lift weights once a week, you will restore your brain function to that 30-year-old. Legit evidence. So now when I see my patients and they sit there and, they're either depressed or they're lucky or they have other ailments, I'm like, look, this is part of your prescription. Get your ass in the gym once a week, hire a PT, get this done. Because A, you're looking after your health, you're keeping your arteries clean. That's the main thing. You're not going diabetic. We're brown. We have massive risk of diabetes and blood pressure and cholesterol, all those things. That's number one, the physical health. Mentally, obviously, you're going to release endorphins. You feel so good. When you lift a PB, Haroon, how good do you feel?
I feel great.
Mate, there's nothing like climbing.
Yeah.
Right? People talked about in lockdown this idea about mindfulness, right? It became this whole thing. And I ask people all the time, like, how do you practice mindfulness? Right? When you have a barbell on your chest, if you're not thinking about lifting that weight, the bar's going to hit you on the head.
Yeah.
It is a great thing that makes you mindful.
No, I absolutely love the feeling of going to the gym now, but 3 years ago, I identified that I needed to pay somebody to get me to the point where I would even go. And I think that realization that we're talking about with this is the same realization that I now need to have about other parts of my life, about, like you were saying, outsourcing things. So I think that's, for me, the next thing to do.
We'll touch on that afterwards, I promise. I do need to speed up a little bit because I'm conscious of time.
Can I give Haroon a compliment? Of course you can. Sanj told me something about you, which I absolutely love, which I've started doing now as well. She said to me, when Haroon meets people, in the contact section of that person. So say you know what I'm talking about now.
Yeah.
You'll write notes about the conversation.
this down now.
No, stop taking credit for
I told you this. I want the story told her.
What did I do? What did I do with it?
So why don't we?
What about mates? Yeah, let's say who you didn't understand. Let's say job.
This is true.
So you then therefore you went into a contact.
Yes.
And you added to her note
What she does.
job was.
Yeah.
And you had that as a reference in the future. You ever forgot it was there.
Because I think it's very weird. I think I would say
He is.
no, but
President of the United States,
Yeah.
the briefings he gets.
yeah.
It's like that. You go into the conversation already, man.
So I'm like, you know what? I need to write it down somewhere. Otherwise, it's never going to get dealt with.
Good dude.
Yeah, I'm gradually. I'm human gradually. Memento.
No, loses memory. I'm a Khan. He looks.
Yeah, all these super handy.
It looks like Haroon actually.
No, just the hair is the same.
I did it to skip ahead. So you already alluded to the fact that you're being single at the moment and stuff. Is it harder for you to meet somebody now because you're doing so well? I know that sometimes people are conscious of meeting someone who is in it for the wrong reason.
Yeah.
They're attracted to you for the wrong reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say that that's a factor for you now in trying to meet somebody and trying to understand that their intentions are true or if they're false? And is that making you back off a little bit from that in that sense?
I would say that is definitely a factor. Is one factor. So if I match with a girl on a dating app and one of the first things in conversation is, oh, I know you from this, it is an immediate turn off in the conversation.
Yeah.
And I've spoken to a few people about it who are like, no, you need to be more open to
Giving.
having a conversation. But I kind of feel like everything I do on radio and in the kind of public eye, if you want to call it that, is a more enhanced performative version of what I would like to be like with my partner, right? Like I want to be my most authentic self.
Yeah.
And so if your first impression of me is based on something that is the best version of myself for the most number of people, it starts, I kind of feel like your impression of me is already too high at that very starting point.
Pedestal.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I don't want to be on a pedestal. Like I just
want to be yourself.
Yeah, I just want to be myself. So for that reason, I think so. And then yes, the worst thing is like, when you're talking to someone and very early on, they're like, so who's the coolest person you've interviewed? I'm like, no, like this is not what I want,
Let's connect.
I think it's the DMs. It's not.
Yeah, exactly. It's so I'd say that's a factor. But I think the bigger factor in me not having found the right life partner is me not giving it enough time. I think time is the bigger problem. And so many of our very good friends have advised me how I need to spend more time on this.
So I don't think any of us
with not Sulanti, but Sulanti doesn't take Muslim clients. Forget Pakistani matchmaking. I want to know why Sulanti doesn't have any Muslim clients. I've never seen her have any on the show. But anyway, you might be white. But with time, I find that I am too exhausted from daily conversations in general to then also have the capacity to indulge in small talk.
Yeah.
Do you think also that is a factor? But us saying to you need to invest X, Y, and Z is really kind of naive and stupid because we don't live your life. Your life is very unique compared to what we can see from the outside looking in. All of us have conventional 9 to 5s. You don't have that. Your 9 to 5 is not a 9 to 5. It's ongoing all the time.
True, but I started to think that maybe I need to look at it a little bit differently because you can't tell me that your life also doesn't involve you having stressful situations and long hours, and you're doing this on the side of doing your full-time job, for example.
Yeah.
You're doing this on the side of saving people's lives. So it's not like you don't have other things going on, but you still make time to do this. And in the same sense, I need to make time to try and find a life partner, which I am not doing right now.
But is it a priority?
I think the older you get, the more you realize that it is a priority, I think.
Because what are you actually wanting? This is actually interesting now. most of it,
I can't believe we're having this conversation. This is only because you know me.
you're young and you get into a relationship. I met my partner when I was 19, right? I think at that age, I thought, I'll tell Indy, I tell everyone on the podcast, you're young, you're brown, you're at university, you just want to meet a girl, man. I don't think that I was going to marry at that point. That I did. But I think if I'm 33 now and single, then I'm looking for different things for a relationship. And the reason I'd be thinking about, okay, if I want to get married, why do I actually want to get married? Because I think when you're younger, it's like, you meet someone, you date, you tell your parents you get married, just the thing you do is the blueprint you're just following. Whereas now I think the conversations, I look at it and actually think why. So for you, Haroon, what would be the reason you'd want a relationship?
I think companionship.
It means one, define.
I think it means being able to share your life with someone.
Yeah.
Because I think they reached a point. I think in my 20s, I just hustled. Like I just worked. I worked round the clock, non-stop. I wanted to be the best in what I was doing, and I wanted every opportunity I could possibly get. And then you reach a point. I think for a lot of people in their, turning 30 or their early 30s, where they realize that they are now, touch wood, financially stable to an extent. They are content within their career. Doesn't mean they lack ambition. They're just content in where they are at their career. And it's like, okay, so what do I do with this now? Who do I share this with? What do I do? What is the next purpose of my life? And as much as I didn't believe it when I was younger, I didn't really believe in the idea that marriage or companionship served much of a purpose. Honestly,
Beyond
following conventional
natural blueprints. Yeah.
Societal
expectations.
Yeah, I used to think, I don't know why, I used to think that people who get married or have kids or have a family at a young age have boring lives, like they've got nothing out.
Why are you not hustling?
Why aren't you hustling?
I had the same thing. Yeah.
But actually, I think they're much better off for doing that. I now think that the friends that I have that got married, or friends or cousins that got married younger, mid-20s-ish, did the right thing.
Okay.
But you met me when I was younger, in my mid-20s, not suitable for marriage. So every person's still varied in their life journey.
Yeah, but do you know how you said that marriage has made you a better person?
No, I wouldn't say it's made me a better person. I'd say I'd say that my wife has made me a better person, but I was with her. But I was with her before I got married.
Yeah.
So I was still with her, and she was still making me a better person.
You're living well now, like a few years, you would have become a better person even earlier.
Yeah. But then I wouldn't have met her in the right circumstances that worked for both of us in that sense. And I would have had to miss out gaps in my journey to be able to be with her earlier.
It's a technicality, but...
No, it's not a technicality, because all the steps that I've taken to get here make sense.
True.
If I skipped any of them out, it would have made a massive gap.
But him saying a marriage has made you better is not an incorrect statement. That is correct. You live with Sanj now. You didn't live with a pre-marriage.
Yeah, sure. That is true.
I just think that the older you get, the harder it becomes to find the right person.
Yeah.
And I think your criteria for what you're looking for, like you mentioned, changes. And you are so much more sure of yourself as a person that you're far less willing to compromise on any aspect of your personality. And the whole thing becomes harder.
Yeah.
I think.
So I think that, which is the other one, the compromise. And the other thing is just physically, where do you meet people?
True.
Right? Like,
true.
University is great. You're around people, there's introductions as friends. And beyond that, you're like, okay, job, gym, deal mill or whatever, or family introductions. Like,
aren't you supported by Seeking? So shouldn't you be promoting them, not
be on our Seek? There are dating apps out there that are suitable for everyone. You can try Seeking if you are
not Seeking.
Yeah, you can. If you are Seek, you can try Seeking.
Well, yes, you want to get a person. I mean,
well, you can do it if you're not. I don't know how well you'd be received on that.
But that's another thing, right? I think when you're younger, I think as you get older, you start seeing sense in, how do I say this? You start seeing the sense behind what you're taught about trying to find a life partner from the same background as you as well, because you start, you either become closer to your faith, so you want to meet somebody of the same faith, or you become more sure of your values in life, so you want to meet someone who has similar values.
Yeah, correct.
So all of those things, so then the criteria or the pool of people that you can pick from becomes smaller and smaller and smaller.
Correct.
And less and less, you meet them less and less, like you said.
But then is your approach, do you get more intentional about I need to go and actively find them, or is it more law of travel, it's going to come, preordained destiny, it's there, it will happen when it happens. What's your kind of...
Bro, it's not a Bollywood movie.
It's not.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work like that. So as much as I would like to think, I go through phases, and I'm sure people can relate to this. For 1 month after one of your friends gets married, you are on every ad.
That's the most honest.
Is it called? No, not Minda. No, there's a Minda, but that's not the one I have a problem. Most, it's the one that I have the worst luck.
I've seen it. I see all the ads on tubes. I've seen it.
I think Minda's not. I don't even know if Minda's still operating. I don't have an account in there anymore. But anyway, the point is, for a month after your friends get married, you are actively on those apps, and then after a month, you start using them. And then it gets to the point where I got a notification the other day from one of the apps, which is like, you have not used your account in 90 days.
I used to look like...
It will no longer be visible to other people on this app.
That's it now. I don't think they're citing you, but no one's ever responded, so they're complaining.
Yeah. So it goes in phases.
How about like mummy daddy? Are they
No, do you know what?
production type people or not?
No, they're like you meet your own life partner. Maybe I need the old school introduction vibe, and maybe that will work better.
Greta, we are going to Pakistan.
Yeah, no, that was the nature real trip. Not that high. You kind of we as British Asians
Yeah.
want to be able to be given full freedom to do our own thing, meet our own life partner, etc., etc. But when you reach your early 30s and that hasn't worked, take me back here at this marriage since quite me someone who's married.
At least I know that way is guaranteed, right? That's it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not guaranteed that it will work, but
Well, you're guaranteed to meet somebody, but they'll be there in the front room on that Sunday lunchtime.
So yours was love marriage.
Yeah.
Yours was love marriage.
Yeah.
Any comeback from the love marriage?
Coming back, being what?
Or any arranged marriage routes being offered before you found
Oh, yeah. I had mine.
I was young, I was 19, so... I mean, we had people outside the family who didn't know.
How old were you when you got married?
27, but we met at 19.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't get married young.
Yeah.
That was funny as well, because when we got together, yeah, the cool doctor, I get married at 23, got 22, I was like, nope. I get married at 25, but 25 is a nope. And then it's kept moving down long. But the advice I give people now is, before you do get married, and obviously as Asians, we tend not to live together pre-marriage, you need that period, long, extended periods of testing. You need to see to the outside the honeymoon phase, you see the angry, you see the bad habits, you see as much as you can, because then you are making a proper informed decision. And that's advice I give people now, rather than this kind of 3-6 months and then you get married and you kind of work it out.
Oh, yeah.
I worry for people that get married quickly because I think this has not been stress tested. Like, I know it's taboo to go away with your partner. I know it's taboo. What is this?
No.
Oh, okay. I know it's taboo to go away with your partner outside of your parents' knowing. I know it's taboo to spend the night with them.
What if your parents know?
You've got to do it.
Yeah.
Because you see people and you'll understand things that really piss you off. And you can get through that.
I don't think there's any guarantee. There's no, because for example, I know people who have got married after knowing each other for 3 weeks and have agreed to get married. They don't get married in 3 weeks, but they've agreed to get married after 3 weeks of knowing each other. And now there are people who've got married after 10 years of getting to know each other. And there is...
You're talking about the bell curve. These are extremes. But the middle, the majority, I'm saying, you're absolutely right. Yeah, the other side, if you know someone really long time, but then you get married, the other danger is that you become stale. And you become roommates, you're not actually in love anymore. So that can happen as well, right? But you're right, sometimes it's a little, but I often say, if you're going to, on one side, I'd say get to know somebody properly and intimately.
So how long is properly?
Good question. I mean,
all right,
a few years, I would say.
My rules are, if you're with somebody in the same city and you're there, you should meet each other once a week, personally. Because me and Saj managed to meet each other once every 2 weeks and we were in different cities. So if you're in the same city, the minimum I would expect from someone, this is me, once a week, then you can get to know them in that period. I would spend a day out with them, not evenings, because day outs, you spend an extended period of time. Evenings, everyone's on their best behavior. You've come off work, things are all feeling great. You're looking forward to it the whole day. When you're with someone the whole day, you can then see, okay, shit, I don't like that bit you did there because I've seen you for a longer period of time, and your guard will drop a little bit. So you kind of can see people in a different way. That's how I would personally go about it if I was seeing someone in North.
And there's some science to that. Like, there's some you've really thought about.
Yes.
In hindsight, I'm actually, and now when my younger family will ask me, and actually, I'm doing a. Just thinking, is this okay to say? It's going to be out next week, isn't it? Just fine. I can say. It's going to be like, I'm doing a wedding best man speech on Saturday, and there's part of that where I talk about what is it you look for in a partner. People in the family will ask me this, younger members, and I'll say, look, you're looking for a worthy adversary. That's the phrase I use. And then they'll say, what does that mean? I say, look, great inspirer of all time, Muhammad Ali. he's great because there was Fraser, there was Foreman, there's all these people. Your partner is someone who you can have that conversation, like you said, go to the nth degree, talk about existentialism, talk about the purpose, meaning. You can talk about absolute shit, you can talk in between the level, you can sit in silence and not talk at all. Somebody who pushes you, keeps you accountable, loves you unconditionally. And wrapped in all that, there are certain things that you won't like about each other, but you tolerate. There's no other person in life you will tolerate certain things.
All that stuff.
Part of love for me is that tolerance. That's why I say a worthy adversary. If you know, this whole talk that's going on about now being alpha, right? If we all accepted that we're alphas, right? My advice, I say to my wife all the time, is like, look, I want to be with another alpha. I don't like my wife, Shindy. She'll always tease me about this. She's like, sometimes, you know, when I tell you something to do, you'll say, I'll say, I wish you were 100-year-old. Like, okay, and I say, look, and the thing is, it'll be good for 5 minutes, but unless there is stimulating conversation that keeps me, pushing me to be better, then no, mate, I want alpha. I want a lion and a lioness. I don't want to, and this, in my wedding speech to my wedding, I actually call my wife a gazelle. And she ripped me like and then at my sister's wedding, 4 years later, I was like, right, correction, she's not a gazelle, she's a lion, she's also a lioness or whatever. I was like, yeah, and that was like correction. A worthy adversary.
I think most people are looking for equals in marriage. I think they are. I think it'd be a pretty boring marriage if it's not a marriage of equals.
Yeah.
No, you're definitely a marriage of equals.
Why would you say that? Because I moved to London.
No.
Well, easy to.
No, I think I would be hard pressed to find another girl that's like her ever.
I just think that you both have strong personality.
Yeah, and I think I'd be hard pressed to find another person that's like her, that has the same personality traits, the same drive, the same will in life, the same thoughts, and being able to tolerate me, obviously. But having someone who is able to do all those things, I will probably never find again. And so she's very unique, and I'm very lucky.
But how old were you when you...
19, I met her as friends, and then we got together like 2008.
So you were 26, 27.
September 2017. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I just think as you get older, it's harder.
No, I think it is for sure.
So my advice would be do a Karan and meet somebody at uni and then get married to them. Just make sure they're the right.
It's possible. As anything with intention, but it happened. But
I would also say date with intention at that age.
Yes,
I think that's a point that we don't talk about. We don't talk about like date with intention from a young age, because if you do mess around at that age and they eventually later on decide to get serious about life, you will have missed the opportunity maybe to have found the right person.
We're jumping into like a segment we have, which is I have a question.
Yes,
and we just pinged out questions.
Yes.
And the question that you posted out to everyone was the thing that made us go semi-viral. You know, when you took it on the Asian network and said, how do you find your rugby, guys? And I was like, wait, what? Because one of our mates messaged me saying, you know, I haven't really spoke about you on the Asian network. I was like, no.
Listen, I know what you guys are doing with the podcast. So I watch all the clips on TikTok. I find them very, very entertaining. And the roti one was probably my favorite because it made me think about how I eat my roti as well.
Just explain the way that you wanted to do it, because I'm still bamboozled by it.
I can't remember what I said.
You wanted to like slice it.
Oh yeah, it's simple. When you make a good roti, it's going to be a puffy roti, right? So you know that there's an air pocket in the middle. So you rip the roti in half and you have double the amount of roti then, right? Because then you eat one half layer of roti.
Yeah.
And then the second half layer of roti, you got double the roti for the price of one. Is that what I said at the time?
That is what you said.
Think of 2 slices of bread.
Yeah.
But when you eat a roti, you can eat it as, he just doesn't.
You do it with pita bread, right? You do it with pita bread, for example.
That's a good example.
With roti.
As long as it's made correct.
But it depends how thin it is. If it's super thin, it's hard to do what you're saying.
True, but even with thin roti, you then just double it up and you still manage to get 2 scoops out of it. You know the worst roti, I don't know if you want to take it back to London, but the worst roti technique I've ever seen is when people only have, you call them burkis, right?
Yeah, burkis.
2-3 burkis left of roti, right? They ration the burki of roti, so they still use it to scoop, place it in the mouth, but then still use the same burki to bring...
No. I know what you're saying. You're saying they're reusing the same burki.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
What you're saying that I do is I ration to the end, so I'll have 3 scoops of sabji left, I'll have 3 scoops of roti, but it'll finish at the same time. I'm not recycling. I'm never recycling.
And also,
if my roti finishes, then with the jamta, I will finish off the
but you need to save 2 or 3 burkis for that end.
Yes.
Because use the spoon portion earlier.
Yeah, we can do
because you want something that's going to... There's a certain pleasure
ratio
in wiping the plate at the end with the burki. And also another thing I'd like to say about roti is that I hate people that tear off big bits of roti to begin with, and then they are struggling at the end or trying to steal somebody else's. Like, know your roti limits. How many bites in one roti?
That's a good question. I think for you, 3 or 4.
No, man.
You know what I mean? Because okay, if you eat a small roti, he's doing like this.
This, we're gonna go eat tonight, and you're gonna see how I eat it, and you're gonna be like, "What the hell?"
But it's really not.
One-handed. Can you do one-handed roti breaks?
Yeah, no, I can't do that. I do 2 hands. Break off.
You can. It's quite fun to prove to myself.
I forgot the hand ability. You're so angry that like
Stereotype exclusively, isn't it? Like Punjabi people don't, but I know there are certain people, some parts of India where it's like a thing that you should be able to do with one hand, and the other hand is not for that. South India, maybe?
I don't know where it is, but like I'm Punjabi, Pakistani Punjabi. We eat with both hands, like tear it off. But at the same time, I think the idea is that you eaten primarily with your right hand. So, well, it's just supposed to be. I think you're just supposed to eat with your right hand. I don't know.
And the left then is for what function?
I assume to eat soup.
No, while you're eating, it's not supposed to. You're just.
It's just yeah.
It's just a.
It's just there to chill.
Yeah,
I've seen people do it, and the people that can do it with rice, that's a skill. And can you do that, Haroon?
I can't eat rice with my hands.
Biryani, like, you know.
No, I can't. I think there's a
technique
flick that you have to be able to do. It is, isn't it? It is. You've got to be able to
get the rems
and scoop, and it's hard.
Yeah, I've never tried it.
Never tried it.
You never tried to eat rice with your hands?
No.
Not even out of curiosity?
No, I don't want to. Why? It just seems like...
I think there's no, but they say that...
not all in my bed.
They say there's a swad in eating with your hand.
There is, and that's why we use 2 hands.
No, but with the rice.
No. Rice, you mix it with the tari, you get the dahi in there, you make it into your thing like rajma chawal, and then you have it with the chamcha. It's not meant to be...
Rajma.
Okay, what do you like with your chawal?
I like palak or saag with chawal.
Where we're going tonight has an award-winning saag.
Can't wait.
We're going to have it. We'll smash it. But yes, okay, that with the chawal. And dahi on top or on the side?
On the side.
Not on top, man.
No, on the side, man. You can't mix dahi in there unless it's too hot. That's the get out of jail free card. When it's too hot,
going out the dahi on top, man.
Or if it's just like a good biryani, then I don't need much with it except a bit of yogurt.
It is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. Do you eat biryani?
I don't mind it. I think it's the easiest thing ever because I eat chicken and rice all the time. Like, it's 2 in 1. Done.
I would like to call out some of my friends who say that biryani is overrated, and it offends me to an extent.
Speak directly.
I don't want to say their names because I don't want them to get any hate online, but they know who they are. But they say that
I've got sitting on everything.
Biryani is overrated, and I'd like them to know that they're not having the right kind of biryani.
That's always the answer, isn't it? If you're eating at crap places, you're going to think it's crap.
If you're eating at places that don't know that they have to sieve out all the masala before they serve it to you, that is your problem.
Yes.
It's not a biryani problem. Yes.
I just wanted to get that off my chest.
How interesting. Why did you pick that clip up?
I found it really relatable. I thought what you were saying about roti was really interesting, and I realised that actually there is no one right way of... Well, there is for me, but for a lot of people,
there isn't
one right way of eating roti. Remind me again what specifically you were saying in that clip. That you take the roti, fold it over...
And then break it.
I've heard it so many times, I could probably say it verbatim.
Roti is flat.
Yeah.
Burki. I was saying that's how you can ration if you only eat less roti. And you were saying, but no, I fold it and then like a bottle towel.
I fold it. No, it's just because my mum and dad would put it on the plate and I put the roti on the plate and then I've got half a plate. So to make it fit, the roti's in half on the plate.
But also...
Then I go and eat off the plate. I'm not going to open it back up.
Why?
Because it's already on the plate. I'm not going to move the quantity over, open it up, and then start working around it. No.
So I've started using a new technique now. You know when we go for a mixed grill? I had a mixed grill at home after ages. Me and Shindy had one last week. And I was like, okay, but you don't get roti, obviously, you make sure you get big naans, garlic naans. So I had my main plate. I had my
big alien face shape.
The alien face shape. Yeah, exactly that. So I had my Manchurian, I had whatever, paneer here. And I was like, there's no room on the plate for this naan.
Yeah.
So I'm going to use a secondary, smaller plate just for the naan.
Do you not do that at home if you have a...
No, everything's in korli anyway, so I don't need... My plate is for the roti, and then I have my dal in the korli, dahi in the korli. My sabji will be on the plate.
Yeah.
But there's still enough room on the plate to have... My roti naan essentially is, we make smaller roti. If it's a naan, you need separate side plate.
So I think naan is a little bit overrated.
Depends on the naan. Plain naan, obviously.
I think naan has a tendency to go wrong a lot more than roti can go wrong.
I agree with you. The spectrum. Yeah.
The stodginess of a naan.
Yes.
And the amount of, sorry to go, but the calories in a naan just aren't worth
the trade-off.
They're not. Unless you're going all out and you're having a blowout day on the calories and you're like, I did it last Saturday.
Mixy. You can't go to a mixy and have roti.
No, but my mom made this amazing keema, right? And the keema was too good for roti. So I had tawa naan, where it was like tandoori naan with extra ghee on it, on the tawa, toasted to perfection.
See, that's a different level now. Now that is definitely is underrated. Tandoori roti is game changer.
But this tandoori naan.
And tandoori.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
But
different level.
You got to save it for special days. In general, naan is overrated.
Yeah, but you, like day to day in your house, eating a dal, you're not going to have, you don't know. Exactly. But if you're having a mixed grill masala chips and you're going all out, the radioactive green mint sauce.
If your mixed grill is good enough.
Hang on. The radioactive green mint sauce.
You don't know about it. He knows.
The neon one.
You know that dead butta.
Are we going to glow in the dark mint sauce place today?
We can do. I'm sure they'll have it.
I mean, they have it.
But does it glow in the dark? We'll have to switch off the lights to test it out.
And let's check out.
Remember, goodness gracious me. Yeah, when they go, how did they get that red food color? He did say that.
Yeah, no, I know the mint sauce you're talking about, but I think if the mixed grill is good enough, it shouldn't need naan.
Oh, no, see, I disagree with this. But it depends what you eat. Because I have chili paneer. Chili paneer, you can eat on its own, but it's not fun. Chili paneer, and then you take another peel. Not fun. You can. I'm not saying you can't, but the way I like it is I got my masala fries here, I got my burki of garlic naan, I'm taking a bit of chili paneer.
Bro, you're making me so hungry right now. I hope the food is good where we're going.
I'm warning.
What's your ultimate pet peeve about wedding season? Because we've rinsed weddings. I think we were on like a 10-week streak of mentioning something about weddings.
Oh, by the way, side note, that clip that you sent me of that DJ who was drunk. You know that DJ?
Oh, the one that I went to the wedding.
Yeah. I showed it to a couple of DJs.
Yeah.
And they could not.
They were in awe.
They couldn't believe it, number one.
Yeah.
But they were like, this is a real person.
Yes.
Have you seen this clip?
No.
Right. Watch the clip after the podcast. Indy's basically there filming it. This guy Sharambi, he's DJing at a real wedding. Not the Jogger party, the reception. Do the noise.
This is absolutely...
Do the noise.
He's basically singing on the mic and he's saying, yeah, on the mic. And I'm just thinking, what is he doing? It's like he's clearing the throat out and he's slurring on the mic and he's not making sense. There's no music playing. And there's a dolly who's trying to cover for him. He's playing a door to try and drown it out. But the rolls him out.
That rolls him on. He's like, yeah. How's he making a talk?
Yeah, it's just like...
You know what though? But it links to what my wedding pet peeve are. Because I can pick from a lot.
I bet.
But over-the-top DJs are definitely one of my pet peeves. So for example, the bride and groom have chosen a song to make their entrance song, their entrance to. They do not need your commentary.
MC,
they do
right?
not need you to say, make some noise for the couple.
Correct.
Oh, give it up for
Give us your best DJ voice, and I'll tell you what you need to say. It's the cake cutting. It's a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
Give me the best DJ voice. Ready? 3, 2.
I can't, and I have too many DJ friends. I can't. But even during certainly at Pakistani weddings, there's a lot of choreographed dances that go down at the Mendi, right? Those boys and girls have put together a medley themselves. They have edited it together. They've used Audacity, some free. They've tried really hard. Do not ruin their medley with your commentary.
Hello, guys. Yeah, first of all, yes. 1, 2, 3.
Their medley.
Bunny, shower.
He's so good.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Make some noise. Sort Italian.
And he loves it.
I hate
the
cringiest thing.
Wedding DJ commentator is one of my pet peeves.
Yeah, during Canada, they have a split role. This is another thing I didn't tell you about when we were talking about Canadian weddings. So I went to this reception, 1,000 people at reception, way over the top. You have the DJ who's just there to DJ, and then they have a secondary MC.
No, but that works sometimes. Like, for example, Punjabi Hit Squad, friends of mine, there are 2 of them, and one of them will MC.
Yeah.
And he's great, but he knows when to do it and when to stop.
Just chill out.
You don't talk over moments that don't require you. Like, you don't need to talk over the bride and groom's entrance. They have specifically spent hours picking that song. Let them have the song with you in silence. So yeah, there you go. There's my...
That's fair.
Can I have a second one?
Of course you can.
The auntie who has got so much going on in her own life but still wants to ask you why you're not married yet is I'm sure you've spoken about this before, but that one of her kids is getting divorced, one of her kids has run away, one of her kids might be a drug addict, but she's still going to ask you why you're not married yet. And that auntie knows who they are. But everyone's got one.
ਪੁੱਤ ਤੂੰ ਗਰਲਸ ਨੂੰ ਲਾਈਕ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੀ ਐਂਡ ਵਿਆਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨੀ ਤੂੰ ਮਿਲਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਤੂੰ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਦਾ ਤੇਰੇ ਬਾਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੇ ਤੂੰ ਹੁਣ ਤਾਂ ਹੀ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਕੁੜੀਆਂ ਲਾਈਕ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਤੂੰ ਜਿਮ ਜਾਂਦਾ
They've always got something to say, and it's literally like,
It's like, sort your own shit out. Sort your own life out.
which is what you want to say, but tell me the approach. How do you handle that? Are you the hanji? Do you take it as spiritual, like it's going to happen when it's going to happen?
no, I just laugh it off and walk away. I laugh it off and walk away. I think that's my go-to. Because at first, if you're responsive,
Engaging, yeah.
if you engage, even if it's a sharp, like, mind your own business, if you engage, they don't learn. It instigates them to, oh, you're open for conversation about this. Now, people.
I thought that they'd be the opposite. They'll go and run and tell your mum and dad, be like, he said this to me.
They know my mom and dad are going to say he's right.
No. If you're rude, that auntie will go to your parents and say, "Tahi eda viah nahi hunda."
Yeah, that's true.
Right, that's true. Tahi nahi hunda.
Yeah.
Right?
That's painful.
That's what they say.
That hurts, man.
Yeah.
Hey, some of yours. Pet peeve. Oh, I didn't hear that's me.
Yeah, of course, man.
It's the Haroon show today.
Haroon show. About to spread the
What was the question again?
Tell me your biggest wedding pet peeve, man, about weddings.
Okay, personally for me, there's going to be a dance-off at some point. I'm going to get dragged into dance-off. I'm not a dancing monkey. I don't want to dance in every circle in the middle. That's my pet peeve.
The Indian circle.
No, it's... You see me, it's not my event.
Oh, it's when everyone makes that massive circle and you just get pushed in.
It's not, look, if it's my event, I'm going to hold it down. That's different, right?
Yeah.
But if it's your event, I want you to be the prime focus.
Do you think it's your responsibility
To hold it down.
to dance at a friend's wedding?
Because we're Sangara dancers, or just because
No, not because you're not dancers. But
If there's a wedding when I know that, you know, like there's always that awkward bit where the DJ wants to get the party started and you need the few people that go over the trench wall and go into the dance floor initially to kick it off, right? And I'm like, I look around and everyone's like, you know, the bande are like, I'm not sure I'll be enough, I'm not going to go. The ladies still, they're fine, they're going to come do the gidda, whatever. But you need a couple of lads, right? And I will always do that seva. That's always my seva. I will come and do it a little bit until the reinforcements come.
don't you think you're taken for granted then?
yes.
No, absolutely. But it depends how close I am. If this is my philosophy on attending parties now, we're going into that, Haroon, which is, if I'm not going to be one of the last people on the dance floor, I'm not attending the party.
If you're not going to be one of the last people on the dance floor, you're not attending the party.
That's it. So by definition, the ones I attend, Indy's reception, which we were at the tent, I'm going to be on the last person.
Yeah, he actually cares, basically.
Okay, but the thing is, I sometimes feel like you just are not in the mood to dance.
Yeah, fair.
You know, like, you know, you're just not in the mood to dance, but the expectation is you danced at so-and-so's wedding and you danced at so-and-so's wedding.
Yeah.
Why are you not dancing right now? And it is the whole thing of you don't want to just switch it on. Sometimes you are not feeling it.
No.
And you want to jam. And my kind of general approach is, once I've done the initial bit, which I need to do, then I just want to sit down and have conversations. I want to,
Yeah.
So standard things happen at parties. You go outside, walks with people, you go and sit somewhere else, you catch up, whatever. And then there probably will be a part where I want to dance.
Yeah.
But you're right, there shouldn't be expectation. So yeah, being told to dance, and you're dancing, and then slowly people edge away, right? And then it's like, oh, do the thing, man, do the move, man. And I'm like, the thing is, if you've got something to do with, that's okay. But again, we're only going to do it for we'll do a little bit, everyone gets happy, then we'll go, right? But if you're doing it on your own, it's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird. Yeah. Like, who are you dancing with? You're trying to maintain, I say this to Indy, like, you're on a dance floor, maintaining eye contact is the weirdest thing. Right? So remember your reception, Indy, like, you know, you'll do the, and then you're like, oh, this is awkward, like, we got this person. Yeah. Then you move back and it's just weird, man. It's just weird. Which is why just stick to your partner, that's nice and easy. You look at each other enough. If you don't look at each other, it doesn't make the other person happy. It's fine. I'm giving the point of view for when you don't drink. When you drink, they don't know what they're doing anyway, man. It's fine. Last week we were talking about DJing. So me and Indy did a bit of DJing for family events. I remember one event where everyone was pissed on dance floor family event. And we had a proper, you know, Bhangra music?
Yeah.
Been up here?
Yeah.
Right. So, you know, Jartali Pasand is all the most Jarta song there is, right? And that's how I'm just going to mess with them, right? Just men on the dance floor. And I put Jay Sean Ride It on. And they didn't realize, but they realized the song had gone slower. So they changed their tempo.
They're dancing.
They were like getting on top of each other. And I was like, this, like, if I am basically existed, like, this is content, man.
Wow.
And it was just really funny, man. I was like, that's it. You mess with me, man. Keep giving me these bloody song requests. Never happy. And now I'm going to mess with you by playing Jay Sean Ride.
So that's a good pet peeve though, the dancing. What's your pet peeve?
Well, I'm in charge of this whole thing, so I can skip ahead because in the interest of time. So I'm just going to duck out on that one.
Okay.
I share Karan's thoughts though and sentiments about dancing. I don't like being told to dance. Like, I want to do it when I want to do it.
Oh, I'm the same.
But because people know that I can, there's this expectation on me, like, do it. And I'm like, no, you can't fucking tell me what to do. Then my back gets up and then I'm like, I really don't want to do it.
Yeah,
because you were kind of rude about it.
Yeah.
And if I want to, I will. I'll be there. I'll be on the floor. I'll do the clapping.
Clap circle.
I'll be one of the many, but I don't want to be standing out. So I just want to chill and just have a nice evening. But no, there's this expectation. You got to do it. You got to dance. You got to do something. Why are you doing it? Etc. It's just like, fuck.
You're a good dancer.
Oh, thank you, man.
I saw you dance at Indy's reception. I was very impressed.
Thank you.
That again was one of the scenarios where it was like everyone was taking their turn to be in the middle of the circle, which is super awkward, shouldn't happen. But I saw you do it and you held it down.
But I don't like being told to dance.
Yes. I agree. See? We all share the same sentiments.
Yeah. Yeah, and I really don't like being told to dance at weddings where most people don't dance.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, then it's like you're almost like performing on
The levels here,
you know.
the levels down here, and if you dance properly, it's down there. If people were on the floor and it was here, you doing that little bit's all right.
No, but if I'm at a wedding where most people don't dance, then I'm not there to like. I'm not hired entertainment, basically.
I'm not signature, Ben.
I'm not signature. Yeah. We've got one last question, which is
Introduce the question. Yeah. Let me introduce him.
go on, do it.
Before that though, so COVID, working in hospital, saving lives, Haroon. And now I'll ask you because you're Punjabi as well. So when I'm taking the history, asking a person why they're here, sometimes I need to ask about their bowel and urinary habits, right? So what's the word for urination in Punjabi?
Sharp.
Sham, right? So I'm like, sham theek aata hai, or whatever, you know, dalda or whatever, is it burning, whatever. And then I was like, okay, so how do I ask about number two? Oh, right. Okay. So
Tatti on that.
yeah, and I was like, potty, theek hai, like we use potty, but Punjabi or tatti as well. You have to tatti on the like, and then you try and action a picho theek aata. And then the guy said, so this is somebody speaks Urdu, like, bada peshab theek hai.
Bada
Peshab theek hai. And I'm like, no, I don't need to know you're having a big piss. So I was so confused for ages. And then my Pakistani consultant comes in and he's like, no, bada peshab means poop.
I mean, I'm Pakistani. I've never heard of this before.
Okay, maybe it's not a hospital, but all the Pakistan guys are there, like, yeah, shut up, bada peshab. And I was just like,
Wow.
yeah. Because like Punjabi, it's so rude, like tatti, potty. And then Urdu is like, it's the language of shairi. And I was like,
It's very soft.
Bada peshab is so soft. How would you say it? Number two.
I would say like tatti would be the
go-to.
Yeah, of course it would be. But the thing is, I'm Punjabi, and my family's from Lahore, so
capital.
So the Punjabi Urdu merges together.
Wow.
So quite a lot of the vocabulary is, I don't know if it's Urdu or Punjabi, it's just a mashup of the two together.
Yeah.
So
Everyone understands it, that's the thing.
but I might never have experienced Bada Peshab. Bada Peshab?
Bada
Peshab.
right? What else have I learned from Urdu? Masla. This
What's the problem?
Masla kya?
Yeah.
Kitne arson se whatever,
How many years?
has this been happening for kitne dafa
How many times?
you take medication? So this is super useful stuff.
Yeah.
And then beyond that, Urdu then becomes Punjabi.
Yeah, so I sound really angry at my level. I've already थोड़ी problem की है.
मेरी प्रॉब्लम है ये कि मैं पंजाबी में शुरू करता लेकिन उर्दू में पहुंच जाता हूँ. मैं दूसरी तरफ करता हूँ.
Beautiful.
Take that like on and run with it.
क्योंकि मेरे कार विच सारे जे ਵੱਡੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਸਾਰੇ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਪਰ ਜੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਉਰਦੂ में जवाब देते हैं.
अच्छा. और सारे गाल कर सकते हैं अपने आप से.
समझ सब ਨੂੰ ਸਮਝ ਲੱਗਦੀ ਹੈ.
तो बोल भी सकते हैं.
बोल
या पंजाबी या उर्दू.
दोनों बोल सकते हैं. See, even now I'm flicking between the two.
you are.
But I could have a conversation with you in Punjabi. I could understand everything you're saying in Punjabi.
And I understand everything you're saying in Urdu.
Because my response will be a mixture of the two.
Yeah,
I don't.
It's more confusing for me.
Oh, yeah, we don't know the minds.
But so, and then new word today.
Go teach me.
I think you should have guftagu.
Guftagu.
Yeah,
Right.
guftagu.
That sounds like a fun word.
What we've been doing for however long we've been sat here is a very casual guftagu.
Is it? What is it? Around?
It's just conversation.
Guftagu.
Yeah.
Actually, does it mean conversation?
It's conversation.
So we'd say galabat.
Galabat, maybe it comes from the same thing.
Galabat.
Guftagu.
Shopping walk. Shopping walk.
No, guftagu is one word.
Oh, it's one word. It's a real word.
It's a real word.
It's actually
Do you know like Salman Khan made up words? Pungi.
What do you think? Is a real word.
Pungi, no,
It's a nipple cripple.
No, it's got from Bollywood, man. No, that's what it means, but it's not real.
No, it is real.
No.
I think it is.
Pungi is not a real word. I use it all the time, but I know it's not a real word.
No, there's a whole song called Pungi.
Yep. No, but that's just endorsing the fact this word is now. We're trying to make it.
No, I think Pungi.
Salman Khan has invented Pungi.
I might have to search this. I think it is a real word.
I don't think it is, man.
What
Have you heard this?
No, never.
Pungi mean? Pungi originates.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a musical instrument. Pungi is a wind instrument traditionally made from a gourd played by snake charmers in India.
Basically a snake charmer.
Yep.
Oh, it's not a nipple cripple.
No, but it is that. I know exactly. That's why I did this. I know it's a Pungi, right? But then I'm going to give you a Pungi. It's a Salman Khan thing. There are certain words we've just we've adopted.
We have adopted.
So on the shop floor the other day, and one of my friends and consultants, he creeps up on me and he says, "Chance, I've been watching all your content. You and Indy love it." And he said, "Where I consume most of your content is when I'm sitting on the toilet." So that's great, a bit of TMI there, but thank you for watching. And he put a question to us, which is, what is your toilet routine and habit? Specifically, we're going to talk about Bada Pashal, because I'll add a little side question here. Number one, are you standing or do you sit down sometimes in number one as well? That's a big question. Do
you know, I'm on a sit downer. I'm a sit down.
I don't want to miss, so I sit down.
Yeah.
Bro, like, how little control do you have, man?
Clean up, man.
Can you not aim, man?
Yeah, you can, but still, there's a margin for error in it. When you sit down, the only margin for error is you missed the
I
gap.
just think life is easier. So you sit down.
It's just quick.
See, I sit down, but not for the reason of missing. I think it's just more enjoyable.
It's just,
Yeah, it is
more better all round.
It's more enjoyable because you don't miss.
No, bro. Like, come on, man. Like, if you're in a urinal, you don't. What do you stop pissing on the other guy next to you?
I don't go to the urinal. I sit in the toilet if I can. Actually, in public.
No, bro, you're not using it as a sitting.
I take that back.
Thank you.
I take that back.
What happened at Carnival? What happened at Carnival?
Please.
What happened at Carnival?
I'm not doing that.
You got intimidated by Carla next to him and couldn't pee.
Yeah, the first time I ever had like a solid nervous bladder. So basically, at Carnival, they have these
I
like
can't go.
they have these like temporary trays to piss in.
Yeah.
And they're like school toilet ones, but they're pop up. And you're queuing up to go. But as I was going to piss, I see the guys next to me that are like obviously have much longer pieces of equipment than I do. And some of them stank of sex. And I'm thinking,
Stank of set.
yeah. And I'm like, I can't go. Like,
Ladies and gentlemen, apparently you can smell that.
oh, geez, you can smell that. I was like, this is disgusting. Like, I can't go. I physically can't. I tried so hard, and my body just like,
Yeah, you know what?
What are you doing?
why won't you work? Why won't you work? But the thing is, mate, it was close. It was like that. So I had to up and leave and go. I had to go. I didn't go, and then I waited for a porta potty.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went in there. That was worse, but at least I had privacy and I could go properly.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you're in public, use the urinals.
Yeah.
If you're at home, sit down.
Sit down. Yeah, 100%.
Not for missing reason for comfort. Right. Now, Bada Pashal, you have to sit down. Yeah, you have to sit down.
Yeah, okay.
There's a option with that one.
Sorry, mate. Do you know what I was thinking about? I was thinking about, in India where they have the latrines and you squat and...
Which are
try to put out
for you, yeah.
Yeah, it's supposed to be.
I know someone actually who in the UK will climb his toilet.
Yeah, you get stools as well, right? You get stools in the UK that you can position so it looks like you're squatting.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
I've heard about that.
Okay, fine.
Don't know if it's an Amazon bestseller, but it's this.
You know what?
Did you get it on Prime Day?
I've asked him before, so he already knows the answer to this. But Haroon, number two. Well, that's what we do in toilet. But you know when you come to cleaning number two,
Yeah.
what's your technique, man? How you get in the party? That's what I want to know.
No, I've got a lota. So we've
Define that.
I've got a jug lota.
I went to his flat at uni. He had...
I had a lota from day one of uni.
Yeah.
It was part of the blessing of the flat was with the you gotta get the lota.
There was one time his flatmate hadn't bought the toilet roll and he saw Haroon go to the toilet and come out. He's like, how'd you go? There's no...
I mean, that's very impractical.
It was magic. He said, Rota, innit? And he showed him what it was.
That was impractical as well because you still need
Yeah.
toilet paper. But if there is none, you're not fully
Clean.
This is the most ridiculous conversation I've ever had on record. But yeah, you need lota. Yeah, lota.
You want to know what the next level up is from Lota?
The shower.
Yeah, man. The bidet.
The
And how
shower's-
could they...
No, bidet and the shower are different though, right?
In the UK, they call it a handheld bidet, which is what you're talking about, the little...
No, but have you had the real?
The real, yeah, the Italian, you go and...
Pops up.
Yeah.
No, that's a different one. That's the Japanese one you're talking about. The pipe that comes
We're
out.
talking about toilets. You know the Dubai toilets that have bum heaters as well?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
They're actually, I don't know why they're not more of a thing in the UK, because we're colder here in the UK.
Expensive. My cousin has a Japanese toilet, which costs, I think, between 2 and 3K.
And
it does it.
3K?
Yeah, bro. Like,
what does it do?
it does, like the pipe comes out, it's garam pani, thanda pani. So there's that end. And then when you go to European countries, you've got the separate bidet where, you go to the hot pipe.
That's very impractical.
It's very impractical. But the handheld
Yeah.
game changer.
But they're quite common. Like most my family homes have the shower.
It's so good.
Yeah.
So good, isn't it?
I actually think that they are too enjoyable sometimes.
It's about the pressure. Like, you got the tutti, right? And you're filling with the tutti. Obviously, if you have no tutti, there's no pani that comes out like this, which is basically like lota.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, when you don't know, you open the full tutti and then you put it on. When you got pani coming out the front as well.
So this is a true story. The showers, they leak too often. Right, so at my nanny and nana's house, they have a shower, the shower in the downstairs bathroom, and it's been leaking for too long. So every time I look at it with sadness, because I think about the possibility of how good it could be, but it's constantly switched off now. So I have to make do with the lota.
On that note, it's time to end the episode. People, thank you for listening. Haroon, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, man. I don't know if this was a good idea or not, but I had a lot of fun.
It's been fine, man. Don't worry about it. People, please like the video. Please share it with anyone else who is a big Relinquishing fan. I'm sure you're going to know something.
Also, I do want to say, like, I do love what you two are doing. I love that you're having honest, open conversations. I love that you're not holding back. I love that you are not scared of talking about things that actually, as British Asian men, you either are not taught to talk openly about or don't feel comfortable talking openly about. So I think it's great. Not so happy about the toilet chat at the end, but that's okay.
Man, anything's possible. All right. Guys, catch you next week in a bit.
Thank you guys for watching. Check out the rest of our episodes here and don't forget to subscribe here. We'll see you guys on the next one.